welcome to the Set List of Life with the current bandmates of Dolly for Sue. Tonight we're missing Leslie, but we have Phil filling in.
Indeed.
So, we have Aaron on guitar.
Hello.
Kirsten on keys.
Hello.
Phil on bass.
Hello.
And I'm Christine, your drummer for this evening. Tonight's song, oh, Leslie, we miss you. Tonight's song is These Words by Natasha Bedingfield. And we have a little special something about that, and I'm going to let Phil take it away.
So, when I do these pinch hitting things, I like to come in from left field.
What do you got there, Phil?
What do you got there, Phil? What's book in your hands?
I have
A thick,
volume 1.
thick book.
Phil's going to read a dictionary.
letters A to C of the Dictionary
kidding.
of American Regional English.
That's A to C.
This is A to C.
That
A to
is
C.
just
This
A
is just
to
A to
C.
C.
Oh, I didn't realize that was just A to C. I thought that was the whole thing.
So the backstory on how I got this book that sat on the shelf for a year and walking by it, I thought, hey, that would be interesting for the podcast because we'll figure something to talk about out of this.
But only A through C.
It's only A through C because that's all I chose to pay for.
Oh.
It
quite expensive.
I'll get to that explanation. I was reading something.
Good.
And there was some American idiom thing that it defined, and it said that it got the definition from this American dictionary.
Okay.
I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. Word history kind of interests me. And I went to Amazon and, looked up how much the book was to see if I don't remember how many volumes. The initial books I was looking at were $150 a volume.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a used one that was under $20, and
There
I
you
said,
go. Okay.
I'm going to buy one volume out of this and just see if it's interesting.
Yeah.
I promptly got it delivered to the house, looked at it for a couple, 3, 4, 5 hours, put it on the shelf,
And there it sat.
and there it sat.
There it's at.
And of course, a month or two ago, walking by, I saw it and said, hey.
Hey, that's a random thing to
what
talk
exactly is this?
So apparently, there's a list of 1,847 questions
1,800. Okay.
and I can read all of them to you.
No.
No. That's okay, Phil.
Let's.
You can take a random one.
Pick a random question.
Ease into
Pick
it.
87. Phil, what's 87?
Well, so it actually isn't quite by 87, but
It's
I'll
not
explain.
by
Okay.
number. Okay. All right. Just pick one.
So apparently field researchers from 1965 to 70 wandered the United States asking these questions of people and then mapped where these regional words were used.
Okay.
So they're like regional words like splunking or...
Spelunking is not a regional word. That's actually a true word
for caving.
caving.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was a Pennsylvania word.
Yins might be a regional
Yins.
word.
Okay,
Yes,
yins would
yins
be.
would be.
Okay.
But it's not A to C, so I can't verify it.
Apply.
Okay, so these are only A to C words.
These are only A to C words that were answers to these kinds of questions. Here's a sample of the questions.
Interesting.
So
It's going to sample
questions about time. There's 26 questions that they asked with regard to time. The first question, A1, what do you call the time in the early morning before the sun comes into sight?
Dawn.
Dawn?
That's what I would
Pre-dawn?
say. That's what I would say. But
golden hour.
so
depending on where you
Thinking
live,
when it
where
starts
you
between
would
A and
answer
C.
differently.
people may answer that with some colloquial, idiomatic thing.
Now that went
Okay.
under A-Y?
That's A1.
No, that's just the question.
That's just
They're
a
just
question.
questions. So
That's
their
just a
answers
question. The answers
are
are
only
what's in
A
the
through
dictionary.
C.
Yeah.
The answers are what's back here in the dictionary.
These are
But
just the
they
questions they
asked.
ask.
So what are some of
to
what
come
are some
up
of
with
the
all
answers?
the words.
So that part I haven't figured out how to map that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not
I have to go
one-to-one.
So they asked a bazillion random questions, and they came up with all these words.
I'm going to go to something like, let's see if I can figure out how to
Like
go
pop
backwards.
and soda
Yeah.
and Coke.
Right. And
yeah.
So what you're reading now, further back in the book for our listeners, is just the answers, but there's no way of knowing.
It's an answer. So let's
Because it's dictionary.
To a-
let's look at brook sunflower, which was an answer for something. It's a beggar tick.
Like
1900
TICK or TIC?
1900, it was cited in Lyons with plant names as a brook sunflower, TIC. And in 1901, Lounsbury used it in another book on wild flowers. And in 1959, Carlton in Index of Herbs cited it also. So it'll go in and tell you the history of that word that was answered to one of these questions.
But there's no one-to-one.
There
is, but we haven't figured it out.
but I haven't figured it out.
He doesn't have that volume. Yeah.
Okay.
So
The index.
All right. Yeah,
you know, there's
the map.
questions on weather, there's questions on topography, houses,
All right, so let's find an interesting one.
Yeah,
here.
let's find something.
furniture.
Let's find one.
It's like when you take, totally not, but like when you take that quiz online and it tells you like what region you're from
Right.
and it
Like,
predicts
you're
where you're
from the South.
Right.
Yeah.
and it gives you like
I've
10
never
questions.
done that. Okay.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And now it's just like
Anytime something's asking questions on the line,
you don't do, yeah. You don't like to give out your personal
Right.
information
And I get
online.
that.
You don't do that anymore,
And
but I
this
used
was
to.
a long time ago, and I never do the like to get your results. Give me your
Oh, right,
email.
right,
I'm like,
right,
right.
sure, that ain't happening.
no.
So utensils. Question F23, a container made of rough, loosely woven brown cloth, commonly used for potatoes, etc.
A gunny sack.
Well, look at you, farm girl.
I know, right? That's,
Wow.
I feel like that was
That's
a
what I would've
reasonable
said.
guess.
Yeah.
Oh, see, Phil would have said it too.
Now, there may be other regions,
Yeah.
though, that answer that
I
differently.
don't hold potatoes in anything.
I'm-
except the
it's
bag they come in, but I have heard gunny sack before.
Yeah.
The container for kitchen pairings and scraps inside the kitchen.
Oh, it's a compost bin. Or some colloquial
It's all
term.
right, exactly.
I don't know what.
Vegetables and fruits. What do you call the garden where you grow carrots, beans, and such things to eat at home?
Kitchen garden.
That's one description.
Or
garden.
the garden.
Yeah. just
Garden.
a Garden.
I've
Kirsten,
also heard-
vegetable garden.
I've heard
Kirsten's treating this
kitchen
like
garden,
it's Trivial
vegetable
Pursuit.
I know. I'm like, I'm all in.
What is
What is
for 200 hours?
For 200, Phil.
farm animals. K1 is a cow that's giving milk is a
cow that is
Oh,
giving
it's-
milk.
They do have, there is a name for a cow that's giving milk.
Uh,
There is.
oh, jeez.
Is it a sow? No, that's
I
a
don't
pig.
get the I don't
That's
get
a
the
pig.
answers.
He doesn't get the answers.
Yeah,
We're
no,
asking-
I know you don't, but I'm trying to think
Right,
of
we're
like what
asking
somebody would
generally,
call
is
What
it-
a cow that's giving milk? I feel like I should know this.
I don't know. Again, I'm not a farm girl.
relationships among people.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, all right.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now we're talking
right.
my
Yeah,
tend
this
to.
is Christine's
Asking
wheelhouse.
directions of somebody on the street when you don't know his name, what you'd say to a man. Say blank.
Excuse me,
How
sir.
far is it to the next town?
Pardon me, sir.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, so you can tell this
Hey,
was
dude.
done in the 70s because people would just take their phone out now.
That's true.
Well,
yeah, we
right,
don't do
that-
that anymore.
Now, that's it. Now going on a tangential story because I do that periodically.
No.
That's what we're here for, Phil.
I once heard a program manager at DARPA,
I don't know what DARPA is.
so the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency,
Okay.
Okay.
inventors of what became the internet as one thing.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
I
inventors.
thought that was Al Gore.
And
Did he say he
well,
invented
that's
the internet?
because he funded the projects that resulted in it.
He
So
believed in it.
He believed in it. But another one of the
I
things,
didn't actually think it was him, but
another one of the things
He was
that
loosely involved.
in order to make weapons more accurate, they invented GPS. One of the GPS program managers says, absolutely not. That was not the purpose. GPS was invented by men so they didn't have to ask directions.
well, you know, hey,
And we're all grateful for it.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
School going and mental actions.
School going and mental
Yeah.
actions.
Going to school. And
Other expressions for forgetting. It blank.
other expressions for
it
forgetting.
escaped
For forgetting.
me. It
Yeah.
escaped me.
Yeah, it escapes me.
Yeah.
It
That's-
escapes me.
yeah.
No, escapes me.
Old.
Talking of something that may have happened in the past. Have you met him before? Not that I
Recall.
recall.
Or reminisce is talking about something that
It's
happened
the
in the
side of the
past.
table.
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on over there?
Oh, we're just
We're just being
having
us.
fun.
We're
being
we're
ornery.
talking in this regional dialect.
Oh, I know. I was like, yeah, I don't.
We got our what direction are we in? East.
That's easy.
The
We got
east, you're
the
the
east.
east
We got
side.
the east side.
You're the east side. We're the west.
You're the west side.
coasters.
That's all right. We're cool.
All right, so let's just go back to
east side.
let's go back to words, just to see if there's any.
Words.
Now I'm going to sing that Natasha
all
Bedingfield
about those
song in my head.
words.
I'm not going to sing it out loud, though, because we know I don't do that.
No, I don't think I know
Heard you
that song.
sing.
What's-
I know you have. I know
what
it's
is-
really not great, though, huh?
What's
See?
the meaning?
Now you know why I don't do
fine.
it.
You're fine. You should do it more often.
Sorry. We're having our own conversations.
Phil's
Side
looking up.
podcast.
Phil's looking up
It's all
some
good.
stuff.
This is
People at home are like, what?
this is
What
what
the hell is
podcast
going on?
So
Oh, my God.
So while Phil's looking it up,
Yes,
I
yes.
have
She has some
I learned a
tidbits.
I have a tidbit.
Oh, that's
Don't you
right.
have- don't you
Kirsten-
have a
yes.
thingy? Does she have a thingy?
She has a thingy.
I have a thing.
She-
But
well,
nobody
she has a
remembers.
thingy.
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't had tidbits in so long. No one. So
It's time for Kirsten's tidbits.
Kirsten?
Yes, I did say Kirsten's because I was really worried about the tidbits
Tids and
part.
bits,
I'm just,
Kirsten.
don't want to misspeak the tidbits part.
no, you don't want to misspeak the tidbits. The tidbits are very important.
It takes concentration.
Oh my gosh, we're so loopy. Anyway, so I have a little. It's like a little pop quiz. A little
Okay.
Quizlet.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We got a
So-
quiz.
Oh,
Put your dictionary away. No cheating.
so it's not in the dictionary. This is more. This is more pop culture.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do it.
So what comedian
Jerry Seinfeld. No, I'm sorry.
was a drummer for a group that later got very big and famous?
What comedian
I
is
just
the
learned this
drummer of
today.
a band?
Was
Was of a
past
very big.
tense. a band that made it big.
Oh, you know who's a really good drummer? Oh, my God. I do know who's a really good drummer.
Okay.
I know lots of really good drummers.
I mean, hold on. Let me
good
think about this
comedian?
because somebody had a drum off. Yes, then there was a comedian who had a drum off with Dave Grohl.
Okay.
with Dave Grohl.
Yes.
Do tell.
Sugaroony.
Oh, you can't cheat. You just told him not
Oh,
to cheat.
Okay.
I
well,
said he couldn't use his
I
dictionary.
think this
That's true.
is not the
We're
drummer
using a
comedian
dictionary.
that
We
I
can
was
use the
thinking
internet.
of.
Okay, well, I know Will Ferrell also knows how to drum.
He does? I didn't know that. So,
But that's
any
not
other
who I- but
any
that's
other
not who I
Chad
was
famous
Smith, that whole Chad
any
Smith.
other famous comedians?
So
or
give us
famous-
throw us our first lifeline.
So this comedian, he went on to be in movies after being drumming with these guys.
Oh wait, Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's not
And who was
Steely
it?
Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, a really good band.
Yeah.
Chevy
Really?
Chase is a phenomenal drummer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just today I don't even know. I
call
just
him out.
randomly ran across that he was
a very interesting person, Chevy Chase.
Yeah, I heard he was difficult.
Well, so
So you think he'd be really funny?
I don't want to go too far into this,
Yeah.
but Chevy Chase, I've personally never been that much of a fan.
Yeah.
He has a personality that just I don't. National Lampoon's Vacation, hilarious, but Chevy, but I just listened to a podcast with him and Bill Maher,
Really?
possibly.
Oh, interesting.
And it was just
combination.
because of that combination that I was like, I need to listen to
Yeah,
this.
that's intriguing.
And he basically says to Chevy, hey, you're pretty much known as a difficult person.
And what did he say?
And
He's like, yeah.
kind of, his reaction was more along the lines of, I get that, but I don't see that. And
Like you don't understand.
and it's really
me.
interesting because I had the same kind of thoughts. He's probably difficult to, but as I listened to the entire podcast, I actually understood where Chevy was mentally in terms of his delivery.
Right.
Bill did not. You could definitely tell that there were some responses that
Like maybe he thought he was being rude and he just didn't get it.
Yeah,
Like
there
he wasn't.
there was that connection that just wasn't happening. But I understood where Chevy, everything he was saying, I was like, oh, he's not rude. He's just.
Maybe he's like in his own head kind of.
Well, no, he's a comedian that he's very smart and he'll throw stuff at you that it's like sarcasm, but you have to understand that it's sarcasm. Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
Right. Like people think that he's just being
And it's
mean.
right over their head. And,
Right, yeah.
And
My husband's like that.
Jack is like that.
I'm like that. I'm big time sarcastic.
Yeah,
And
and
Jack
like
is like
people that don't know him are like, oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it was.
I'm like,
it
he
was
was joking.
But during that
Yeah.
discussion, they had talked about how he's a very good drummer. He played with I don't know if he played with Steely Dan.
He played with
but
them before they became Steely Dan.
Right, exactly. And he's
They
been
were
in
a
several
trio
other
and then they went
bands,
on.
and he's very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran across that randomly this morning, and I was like, oh, that's like podcast material. Because how
is
did I not
podcast
know
material.
that? That's
Chevy Chase
Yeah.
is a
Okay.
drummer.
You got anything else?
Yeah, more.
I had another one, and I lost it. So,
Okay.
but anyway, but that's in between when Phil's looking stuff up. If you think of like
Random?
what random, like somebody you didn't know did that, right?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like
I don't know if I got any of that, but as I shared earlier before we were podcasting, I learned at the vet that elephants are right trunked or left trunked.
okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
that's-
they know?
yeah,
They
that's
just
what
see them picking up the sticks.
I don't know. It was on
that's
the little whiteboard at the vets. Elephants can be left trunked or right trunked.
we might have to
Interesting.
go to the internet for that one, folks.
Wait, I'm trying to figure this out.
I don't know.
Yeah,
They
Left-
use their-
left-handed, right-handed, left trunk, right trunk.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Like,
what are
they
only have
doing?
one trunk.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
they tend to like
Does it curl,
dominant curling.
Pick something up or curl one way?
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know.
curls.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you have a
possibility.
curling.
Thing.
Thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it said there, and it also said some animal, and I don't remember what animal's poop is square, but I don't remember the animal, so it really means nothing.
All right.
Some animals.
So I think
poop
we
square
should do. I think we should have a little homework assignment to come up with like
tidbits for
like
Kirsten.
tidbits or like a random
Tidbits for
like,
Kirsten.
Tidbits for Kirsten.
Like, what did I learn this week?
Yes,
But it has to
ChatGPT.
be like just some kind of crazy thing that you learned this week, like that.
Well, I always learn stuff on my little runs and stuff on my treadmill.
Well,
'cause I
so when
always
you
throw
can
that
share
stuff.
you can share it in the
Okay.
tidbits.
I will. I'll share it. I'll save it for Kirsten's tidbits.
That's right. Well, yeah. And
Since we don't have story time with Leslie right
all
now.
the tidbits are welcome. It just has to be like, I learned something new today that I bet you don't know.
Are you writing this down?
Interesting.
He's writing this down. Are you giving yourself a reminder on your phone?
Interesting. Create a list of interesting
He's
facts.
ChatGPTing it.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
gosh.
gosh. Did you watch War Games?
Oh, did you watch
no.
War Game? No.
Come on, you told me you were watching it. You can't lie. I got
Aaron
so
is
excited.
faking
It
watching
was like
Christine's
I know
it was
you
like my
did.
Christmas present.
That was her Christmas present.
on Christmas morning, Aaron texts the group chat
Yes,
that
I
he
did.
was watching War Games.
I never said I was watching it.
I gotta go back. Hold on.
No,
was
she's gonna go
wondering
back.
watching it.
I was honestly,
She's checking the
I
text.
was looking through to make sure that I could watch it, and I found it on HBO Max.
Okay.
Okay.
and
So
see-
I can watch it.
But I
But he
was
didn't.
so
He
excited.
could.
I also did not realize that was Matthew Broderick, and I also didn't realize it was 1984 or 83.
Ali
Yes,
Sheedy.
and Ali Sheedy.
Wow. Okay. There's a pretty good possibility that I have seen it, though.
Maybe you just don't remember.
Well, I don't
I
remember
don't think I've ever
movies.
seen
Like,
it.
if I watch a movie, literally after, I will probably watch the movie and go again and go, oh, this is a good movie.
Or this seems kind of familiar.
Kind
For
of
whatever
Yeah.
reason, I don't
Oh,
retain.
I only do that if it wasn't a very good movie. I'll be
You
like,
did
huh.
say that you didn't see it yet. Okay, look. He sent us a picture
A picture of his pants.
and said, "Is
Oh,
this
like I'm-
it?"
oh, like I'm
and I
getting ready.
said, "Yes, this is the best Christmas gift ever." And you gave me a little heart.
And then he didn't follow through. Aaron, how could you?
You're such a tease.
That little heart is broken right now.
I'm so sorry.
Christine got her heart broken on
I
Christmas.
promise I will.
Now
I
there's a
promise
tear.
I will. I promise I will. I promise I will.
Okay. All right. We're gonna follow up.
Men have promised me many things and not
Okay.
followed
Well,
through.
you know what?
Don't
I
be
am,
that
I am
man.
not going
No,
to do that.
Aaron's
man.
not going to do
I
that.
promise I will not be that.
Aaron
man.
is an upstanding,
No.
upstanding Man who forgot to watch War Games.
See, now you have to, because now I've guilted you into
Well,
it.
I was going to anyway. There was never a time when I was not going to. I'm definitely going to watch. I have so many things that I still have to do for you. I have to still make your present. I still have to give you that $10. I still have to give you
$10. What was $10?
the ticket for.
Oh, I don't want that. No.
Regardless,
That's free.
this is all up here.
free.
Yeah,
He's got so much to do. It's paralyzing.
I will. I got you. I promise.
So, Aaron, there's supposed to be a snowstorm this weekend, so you should just
What?
hunker down and watch.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, but
I don't
like
think.
all things,
You think it's
That's
overhyped?
the depth is over exaggerated
It's gonna
at the
be
start,
rain.
and the reality
Although
is
in
it's going to be
his
shorter.
area, in his neck of Virginia, you might get some snow.
Yeah.
We got snow on our hike on
I saw
New
that.
Year's Day.
That was
the
very
boys and I
cool.
went.
Where'd you go?
We went to Bears Den because we were going to go out to Shenandoah. Well, we were going to go to Sky Meadows and then Shenandoah. But the Skyline Drive was closed, part of it, because of weather. So we decided to go to Bears Den instead, and it snowed the whole time. It was so pretty.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we
such a
had
nice
flurries
walk.
all day.
Yeah. See? It just rained down by us.
Oh, yeah. Now it's crappy rain.
Anyway, but yes, it is supposed to snow this weekend on Bryn's birthday.
Oh, okay. I hope it doesn't interfere with her birthday.
I don't think we're going to get that much snow that it'll interfere with. She's, 20. She'll go out.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Phil, what you got there? Did you
find something?
What's Cabbage Night?
What's Cabbage Night?
Yeah.
What is cabbage?
Oh,
night?
it's New Year's. That's Leslie's thing.
That's
that's
sauerkraut.
Oh,
Cabbage.
Look, we listened.
see, we're making connections though. We're
I don't know what cabbage
trying.
night is.
I don't know
I
what
don't think
cabbage
it's going
night
to be
is.
very pleasant.
It's the night before Halloween when young people throw cabbages and refuse on people's porches and play other pranks.
And
Wow.
this would be where?
Where is that?
There's
on Long Island.
citations in
Somewhere in the
1970.
South?
So this is Connecticut,
Connecticut.
Northeast New Jersey.
Really?
I'm beginning to learn more
That's
about
kind of my
how
area.
to decipher these meanings. New Jersey.
Well, because they all call it Mischief Night. Not on Long Island, but they called, when I went to college, it's the first time I'd heard Mischief
Oh,
Night.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's so other names: Beggar's Night, Corn Night, Goosey Night, Mischief Night, Mystery
Goosey
Night,
Night?
Picket Night, Tic Tac.
So they did have Mischief Night
Yep.
there. Yeah. That's what the Pennsylvanians, did you call it that, Aaron?
I've heard Beggar's Night, but
I'm
I never
sorry.
called it that.
Did you call the night before Halloween Mischief Night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
did?
learned that in college
Yes.
Okay, another
from my
Pennsylvania
Pennsylvania
thing.
friends.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is just a whole nother.
It's a great place.
Whole nother
What's a Cabbage
thing.
Patch?
What is a
Cabbage
cabbage patch? They're kids.
doll.
Well, this was
Cabbage.
before the dolls.
Yeah,
Cabbage
Cabbage
Patch
Patch. I don't know. That's
Cabbage patch. Just
Cabbage
a
patch.
garden, I would imagine.
it's like
A place or thing of little importance.
I was gonna say. It's like
Oh,
the
those
turnip
poor
truck. You fell
crack-
off the turnip truck, or you?
1862, kind of New York, Kentucky. Yeah.
Okay.
We need a more recent volume. I wonder if they made an update.
I'm certain that would be TRDL. That'd be internet slang now.
Would be.
Okay.
Albert Einstein, known for his genius in physics, struggled with speech until around the age of 9 and was once thought to be mentally disabled.
Yes.
Oh, I
he
have
failed. I
heard
think
that.
he failed out of school.
See, he was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like Chevy
Because
Chase.
he was so brilliant. He had so much stuff going. Jack didn't really talk until he was like 3.
He just probably had too much going
Yeah,
on.
he did.
Audrey Hepburn, the legendary actress, was also a skilled ballet dancer and secretly worked as a resistance fighter during World War
I
II.
have heard
Oh, I
that.
did know that.
Yeah, I did hear that.
That's
she
pretty
sounds
cool.
pretty
She's
interesting.
badass.
Yeah, she's very, very much so. And then she became a great humanitarian when she was older.
And we did talk about Lars Ulrich being a tennis player.
He was.
Oh, that's right.
And planning to be a
See,
pro
all
tennis
these
player.
now, it's a theme of all these. Like, did you know they did that?
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities, other callings.
Before achieving fame, Stephen King worked as a janitor at a high school where he was inspired to write the opening scene of his
Carrie.
novel, Carrie.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
He would be a freaky janitor.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that. Might make everyone kind of uncomfortable.
Sir Isaac Newton, renowned for his contributions to physics, once stuck a needle in his eye to understand the nature of color and vision.
Okay, that wasn't his best. His best and brightest. Oof, it's awful.
That's not a good plan. Kids, if you're listening,
Kids,
don't
if
try
you're
that at
listening,
home.
Yeah, he may have
find anything
invented
else out
gravity,
good?
but it came with a cost.
Anything else good?
Oh, ChatGPT can just go on forever.
I'm sure it
that's
could.
okay. Of course.
Let's see another one.
I read a couple of
Wait, no,
ChatGPT generated essays today.
We did
you
because
did.
was it obvious? Yeah.
They just are. They are.
Just
I mean,
it was soulless.
and then there's some that are like, there was this one that was really good, and it was clearly not ChatGPT, and it was really good. So there are kids who can write. Mm-hmm. And then there's some that were questionable, where I'm like, I don't know. And maybe that's the kid who's using it, but also making it his own. And I'm mixed about all of that.
Well, in some ways, it's smart. Like like my son is in an entrepreneur program, and in that class, they're allowed to do it because that would be something an entrepreneur would do.
Right.
Like they wouldn't waste
And
their
use
time
it for marketing and things like that. Yeah.
But it's like it's if you're streamlining, if you're using that so you can think bigger, if you're using that for the details, right? Well, because you have the big picture or something, then maybe.
Yeah, I still have to think through my whole thoughts on all of it.
But not for your essays. Like that should be. I'm just saying. In
I was just
some
having this
context.
discussion today with one of my teacher friends who teaches in Maryland, and he was exactly that. He was dealing with it right there, and I wrote to him. I was like, "Look, my opinion is that teachers are on their way out because education is going to be overhauled. Education is completely different in the future. 5 to 10 years from now."
I don't believe that. I don't
hope
believe.
not, because we need the
just
human
like-
element.
Here. Hold on.
Okay, we're getting
Because the way our education system is in America, in terms of how we teach, it is all kids go to a classroom and there's a blanket statement basically that is taught to everybody. And we've learned so far that kids learn at different paces and they learn differently.
Yeah.
Whereas a chat bot can be specifically structured for you and your learning style and your pace. It can be done on a personal level going forward. This thing, AI, will be able to take you through a curriculum at your own personal pace. Now, that I'm not saying that gets rid of teachers, but what I'm also saying is that in conjunction with the fact that we treat teachers like shit.
Yeah, we do.
And
Talking to a former one.
the dropout rate currently is
it's
phenomenal.
atrocious, yeah.
There are so many things that are pointing towards the fact that something's going to happen and it's going to be big. And I think there's going to be a huge breakdown before we get there.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be like that, though, because
I'm not saying immediate. I'm saying in the future. Like,
and we'll all be dead, so we will not be able to argue this.
But that's where it's
right.
changing. It's going technology-wise, and we can't go into the future that is so dependent on technology, let's just say 35 years from now, because it's going that direction. We can't continue to maintain the same way that we've been teaching for over 100 years.
Well, and nor should we.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
But you also need, I mean, if anything, what we have learned from the whole COVID mess is that there are kids who cannot learn that.
Oh,
There are
absolutely.
kids
Yeah,
who
and the
cannot learn
kids that
without a
need that
person
human.
in front of them talking to them.
I firsthand dealing with students and teaching them how to play guitar. There are hundreds of thousands of guitar and music videos on YouTube that they can go learn. Right. There's no need for a music teacher, but having somebody there to walk you through it and talk you through it
And have that feedback and
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 connection. Accountability. Yeah.
absolutely. That will never go away.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
no, I
and even
agree.
we were talking earlier how you are such a mentor to my daughter. She's not getting that from a chatbot.
Right.
No,
Right.
she couldn't.
So there's those
and a
those
love of
lost
music and a
pieces.
relationship. Yeah.
I was in graduate school for library science back in 2000. And this was at a time where everything was beginning to go digital, right?
yes.
And there was such a talk of how libraries were on the way out and we were not going to need libraries and whatever. And yes, they have changed significantly. But you know what? P.S. books are still big. People are reading more than ever. We still need
Phil's example.
They are
Phil's
big.
only on,
That is a big book.
and
Phil.
that's only A through C.
500 pounds.
Well, size matters.
23
Nice one,
years
Phil.
ago, we were looking at, by next year, we're not going to have a library.
Yeah.
And we still do. There's still the need for it.
Right.
Like, I think we are very quick to say everything's got.
No. I agree with you. It's not going to radically change. But that's
Right.
why I'm saying it. That's why personally I'm saying this is not, our education system is not going to change within 10, 20 years. I would assume it will within 35 to 50 years.
I think it's figuring out how we use it and what assignments you use it on, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
looking at Joey who has to write a play, and I was talking to a friend who's like, well, he should just use ChatGPT. I'm like, no, he's not. His assignment is not have ChatGPT write your play. He has to write his play.
it's you write the play.
It's not necessarily the play, but it's the process and what he's learning through the process of writing.
and you
That
can't.
needs to happen.
Yes, I agree.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't other assignments that maybe ChatGPT would be useful for him to use.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place, obviously. Creative endeavors, I would like to think that you would want to push a student to new places that they never knew that they could, achieve things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can go to ChatGPT and say, if I'm having a creative block with something, it doesn't matter what it is, I can prompt it to give me some ideas to start me
How
off
do you say
someplace.
this? Which
Yeah.
would be like using a thesaurus.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Or-
Right. But in the end, he wants to know that those thoughts that are on that paper and that play is his own.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I think if you're writing music and you're working on the melody and you can't do it all, but you're like, okay, Chat GPT the drum beat, and I'm gonna focus on this, or to fill in the gaps where that's not your strength. I mean, and maybe that's more not like an assignment, but just a life skill.
That's
that,
how do I?
See, but then I feel like then that song's not yours.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm such a purist.
And I understand that. How do I?
Think that's good or bad?
I don't. There is no opinion.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not good or bad. It's a matter of
I'm just wondering. I'm just like
those
kind
are
of
the
brainstorming.
times that we live in.
Right.
30 years ago, 40 years ago,
You couldn't
when
do that.
to record music, we used tape.
Right.
Right.
And we had to go through a process of, if there was an artist that came into the studio to record, that band rehearsed for days, weeks, months,
Yeah.
and perfected that album and came in and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to record that.
Yeah, which is kind of why
Now
the music's to the
you
test of time.
have
'cause it's
people
so
like
good.
what's her the brother and sister, Phineas or not? it's
Phineas and Ferb.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
She is a #1 top 40 person,
Mm-hmm.
and they did everything in their bedroom on their laptop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
So-
right. Is Chat GPT doing a drum track any different than
Right.
a smart drum machine?
And again,
Yeah, that's true.
they're making
Yeah.
this album and made their own sounds and everything like that. Is that any different than
Well, they created something. No, they just
okay?
yeah.
Same thing with ChatGPT or
No.
anything else. I created that. It was my prompt. I pushed it to do it certain things. It's still my ideas.
Is the prompt your intellectual property
right.
or the output of Chat GPT?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
who is the
but again,
intellectual
it's
property?
not for me to say if it's right or it's wrong. I have my beliefs, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking. I mean, it's kind of creepy to me, and yet I can see a use for it. Like we all have gaps. Like we all have. I can't do math. I mean, when you're a kid, you have to learn. You have to have a basic education. But when you're an adult, I don't do math, so I use a calculator, or somebody else uses a spell check, or we all have.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
We all have our tools, right?
Writing-
If you use it
writing
as
software.
a tool,
Writing software is changing
yeah.
drastically.
because you can use a Copilot and get 85% of the code you want
Yeah.
done.
The biggest places that it's making the most impact is code writing and in the medical field. It's doing phenomenal things for the medical field. Big things for the medical field.
Just like the crunching the data, or like
being able to diagnose diseases, being able to, because it can take all that information, anything.
It can find things in MRIs that you would miss.
Yeah, it will.
Interesting.
It will, hands down, time and time again, knock out 8, 15, 50, 100 doctors and their opinions, because it's always right. There's no influence at all. It's all off of data, and
it's
people
kind
are
of good
getting.
and it's kind of scary.
Well, people are getting better results. They're getting healthier because of it. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the medical field, and how AI is doing huge things. Yeah.
It's a brave new world.
It's different. It's interesting. So anyway, Bill, back to
Christina's look at her face like, what?
It's a lot to process. I have
It
to
is a
think
lot
it
to
all
process.
through. And like as I was having that conversation, I was like, I'm so rule follower, right? And like this is the way it should be, and like, you know, and then I have like this other person I'm talking to who's very F the patriarchy and like you know, whatever. And there's got to be a happy medium, and there's got to be a way to figure it all out. I just have to process it all.
There's an interesting.
I
have a client who has a podcast called Parenting Teens. She's a doctor, and weekly she has all these conversations with all these doctors. And one of the common threads that's going through each episode that I'm finding is that this is their future. It's not our future.
Right.
Yeah.
It is their future, and they are being brought up with technology and computers and AI and all of this stuff, which in 15 years, 20 years is going to be their jobs.
Right.
These are the things that, again, we get mad at them being on screens and video games and all this other stuff for too long, but that's literally their jobs. The more that they do that and get in there, they're going to have a better idea of what to do later down the line. We don't comprehend exactly what they're moving towards.
Or their abilities, because even like, okay, so we were talking about how Jack and I play Scrabble, right?
Yes.
So one of the things last week, Jack and I have often said like, oh, it's too bad we can't reverse look up a word, right? Like you have an SH at the end and you want to make a word, like
right.
look it up that way, right? So he sat down and wrote code to do this. Now, Jack is not a computer science major.
Right.
That's amazing.
He took AP computer programming and a couple of advanced computer classes in high school, but knew how to do this, wrote the code to do this, created this program.
That's amazing.
Like, and again, he's a smart kid, but I would have even thought.
Right. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Or even as simple as I have to have my oven fixed. And I called the appliance dude and he says, what's the model of your oven? And as I open up the oven and I'm like, I can't read it. My eyes aren't that good. He goes, take a picture and blow it up. I'm like, oh, of course. But I didn't even think to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so then I'm taking the picture and blowing it up. But it's like a kid would think of that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Like that would be their first
sure.
thought. And
Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
It's every generation. Likening it to music and drummers. You know, the drummers that are out now are mind-blowing because what they've learned over the past, specifically the last 20 to 25 years since the inception of Pro Tools and digital recording, everything now, especially the last 20 years, has been chopped and put on a grid.
Right.
And that's what they hear.
Right.
Music before 1995, 93, around that area, was not done like that. It was done on tape. And we didn't have auto-tune. We didn't have grids. And if you listen to the music back then, take Queen or take Journey or whoever it is, their pitch is not, well, unless you're Freddie Mercury, but their pitch is not perfect.
Right.
And there are some songs you're like, ooh.
And double tracks.
Right, and double
weren't-
tracks.
weren't
Absolutely.
perfect.
And it's got that
but that's pure.
right. But so now all these drummers, young kids, are listening to these crazy, crazy drummers, like crazy drummers. And their skill level, if you ask any of these old guys who were one of the best back in the day, these older guys are going, there's no way I could do anything that these kids are doing today.
Because they've been hearing that their whole life.
They've been pushed to a new level. Mm-hmm. And that's continually going to happen no matter what field we're in.
I don't know, just the way we, kids need media literacy today, like what's misinformation, or I think that they're going to need to learn, like when is when is it appropriate, or how do you evaluate the outcomes, in a way that, like, that's a whole new sack of potatoes, or what's the
gunny sack?
That's a whole gunny sack of potatoes to contend with.
None of this
Whole
conversation
cabbage patch
is very different than, I remember my dad with slide rules.
Yeah.
My dad actually had one of the first HP programmable calculators. It was something like $2,000 or $3,000 in its day. He worked for Chevron. He had to get an executive to approve getting that calculator. And today,
because, like, what's that? How are you going to know?
You never would have been allowed to use a calculator on a test then. No. You might have been allowed to use a slide rule on a test then. Today, we think nothing.
As long as you know how to do it.
I mean, those were 4-bit computers back then. We're doing just more sophisticated things. It's just to your point about grids and better drumming. Same thing's true in the other technologies. It just.
Well, I think you need to have to understand it, like, to respect it, to be able to evaluate it.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
In case of going all the way back to reading the essays with Christine, is that, yes, especially coming out of the pandemic and knowing that there's a specific group of kids that need help, that maybe 10 years down the line when all this is passed and it doesn't affect the next generation. But right now, specifically, there was a generation that went through COVID that, there's people struggling.
Yeah, there's gaps.
With their education.
Yeah.
And yes, I agree that there is good to ChatGPT and tools like it. But at the same time, you got to know the skills. You have to go through the process in order to know you may not be doing math for the rest of your life or whatever it is. But you need to go through that struggle and understand the skill that pushes you as a human being. That's what's important.
Right. It's not the product, it's the process.
That's
exactly.
Right. That's
and learning that process and knowing enough of the process to be able to evaluate something critically. Like, okay, I'm not an expert in this, but I know enough, to
and you
to
can
make
use
a reasonable
ChatGPT to help aid you in the process, but do not rely on that. It's just a tool.
Yeah, it's just a tool.
And for what it's worth, I mean, this is a little separate than that, but as I'm reading an essay, I would much rather read a poorly written, genuine, and authentic essay from a kid who's just themselves than a perfectly grammatically correct essay that's not that kid.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's the equivalent of the parents doing the kids' project, like the science fair project. You're like, this obviously your mother's a marketing executive, and pretty damn good one, but you're a fourth grader.
Always obvious that my kids did their own project.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I did know some parents who did a lot of the homework and a lot of the projects.
Competitive parents.
For their kids all the way through high school, and then the kids are not prepared.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
For life.
And everyone thinks, like, expects you to be amazing because your mom was pretty good at those projects.
But at the same time, back to that, to the other point of some kids, they just struggle. Like they just can't. It's not in their wheelhouse.
Right.
But there's something, when I was a kid, like, I used to feel bad that, like, what's wrong with me? Like, that, I don't know, you're not good at everything. And, as an adult, you have that perspective, like, nobody's good at everything. Like, we all, when
all
you're a
excel
kid,
in different places.
And but, we ask that of kids, but nobody asks that of, you don't ask that of an adult. You don't expect your surgeon to do your taxes. Like, that's, it's okay to specialize. It's okay to go off to do, you maybe need a certain level of competency in enough things that you're not, just completely led astray. But, it's okay to.
Yeah, there's things I learned about struggles that I had when I was a kid that I didn't understand. Some of it I didn't understand. I didn't get insights until I was coaching kids in soccer.
Oh, yeah.
And watched how kids learned in soccer and realized that in music, I had an awful time memorizing music. 11 years of piano lessons, years of playing keyboards after that, terrible time. And one of the things was, I could sight read.
Okay.
I could sight read so well. I had a strength in sight reading.
Yeah.
I had a hard time working through a piece well enough to memorize it. And almost sight reading was my crutch. There are aspects of that in other parts of my life where I don't have, if I over prepare for a presentation, it's terrible. If I try to memorize a presentation, it's terrible. If I lightly prepare, which is somewhat like sight reading, I'm okay.
Because that's the way your brain works. So
Right.
that's the way.
And that's the way your brain works. So,
Yeah.
we all have.
We're all different. Yeah.
Aaron's smiling now, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole, it's intriguing, the whole chat GPT that you could tailor a style of learning and a pace to each kid.
You can.
Well, you can. Okay. But we're not really doing that yet.
Good
though.
teachers are supposed to be doing that as well.
Good teachers. Yeah.
You can do that. You can actually do that right now. You can on your phone. You can create a personal bot for you that learns everything about you and can.
There's some coding. There's actually coding classes that are like that.
Yeah, and this is going to be the common thing going forward.
Even any of those, I mean, this was years ago, but when they started doing some of the tests online, not the SOLs necessarily, and I forget which ones they were doing, where you answer a question and then it will choose what the next question is for you, depending on if you get it right or wrong. Yeah. I mean, that's a lower level of that, but for sure they were doing that.
A lot of the certification tests are like that. They'll ask you a question, and if you answer it correctly, they ask you the harder questions.
Yeah.
And they ask you the harder questions until you fail, and then they go
It's like a language assessment, how it gets harder or it gets easier. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it's pretty amazing. Like I said, even today, that whole chatbot thing, I just watched a video on how to create a chatbot for yourself, and you can create this thing to be your personal assistant in every way.
I just have such a hard time with change.
It's intriguing. It's intriguing and yet frightening.
And I get that, but it really fascinates me.
Yeah,
where all
and
this
I think
stuff that's going.
That's cool. I also feel like I said, I need time to process it. I don't have time to process it. It's not that I don't have the brains to do it. I just don't have.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
Well, especially this. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. We have not
it's
had
hard to
something
wrap
like
your head
this
around.
happen for decades. This is the first time something has happened that we're all kind of like, whoa, this is.
But then look at the internet, or look at we didn't have that back, or email.
No, and look how that changed our lives.
Right?
I had a graduate level. It was communication technology in 1990. And nobody did we all had to write a paper, and mine was on HGTV or HDTV. I'm sorry, HD, not
high definition.
Yeah,
High definition,
Not house flippers.
Not that. Mine was on.
What are the two brothers?
Property Brothers.
Property Brothers.
Yeah. No.
Fixer to fabulous.
I thought I was quite groundbreaking, because I'm like, the screens are gonna be wide, like rectangles, not squares.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was big, but nobody in that class predicted, and nobody had the internet.
Yeah.
We had
even then, I mean, TVs used to be in a box, like you
in
said.
the big tube.
But like a big screen was like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 32 inches. And that was like, whoa, huge.
Yeah, I remember thinking like when I did my research, I was like, wow, this is kind of blowing my mind. But nobody, we missed the whole internet thing when that was kind of big. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And now
Seems so quaint.
they're tearing down the AOL headquarters to put a data center in.
They are a big ugly data center.
Because we need another one of those
Yeah.
around here. Because we don't have enough data centers in Loudoun County.
It's
That AOL
insane.
headquarters, that's it.
That was and
It's-
that's a
it's-
huge office complex.
Yes, they're literally, we get to watch it every day. Took a wrecking ball,
Really?
knocked a bunch of it down. They've had equipment in there dismantling it, and they're going to put a data center on top of it.
Sweet.
I had an job interview in that building once.
Oh, did you?
I did, and it was the first interview. This guy loved me, and he's like, "Yeah, like, it's like your background's perfect for this." It was something in marketing, and then so I got the second interview for some lady that was really high up, and I remember she came in and she looked at my resume and she said, "So this is all you've done?" And I was kind of like, "Hey, lady, you could have read my resume and just said, don't bother coming in.
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
Right.
Instead, like you wasted my time." And I was like, yeah, that didn't end well. But I was like,
So you'll be happy to see the AOL.
yeah. So
headquarters
like,
go.
just let it.
Yeah.
Let it.
She's,
Let it burn.
she's driving the truck with the wrecking ball. on it.
Exactly. I have bitter memories.
What's the name of that movie?
Wrecking ball?
No.
Miley Cyrus?
No. The one where he burns down the building at the end. I believe you have my stabler. What is
What's that?
is that Office Space? I think that's Office Space.
I
I
never
don't
saw that.
remember that. I never saw that.
Never saw that
You
one.
never saw? Yeah, I believe you have
No,
my
and I
stapler?
will
gonna
not.
make you
I will
watch
not
it.
watch that until it's
Jennifer
working.
Aniston.
Oh, did I see that?
I didn't see it.
I don't
like
remember
her.
that.
I don't mind her.
It was like one of her first movies.
Really?
I like her.
Before Friends?
No, I think it's after her
Okay.
after her
She was
friends.
in Horrible Bosses.
Oh no, the Office Space is another one of those movies. It's like it's such a good movie.
Okay.
I
All
will
right.
watch more. You're not
All
watching
right.
it until I know.
Okay, Phil's looking
I
up
just
something.
don't watch anything. I
Neither do I.
Not the other day, it was Christmas. Christmas, my sister-in-law was over, and I don't know, there was some football game on that they wanted to watch. Notre Dame, maybe. I don't know. Michigan. I don't know. Somebody was playing football.
Yeah.
And I realized we don't have a single working TV in our house.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, you can't watch the game because we don't have a TV that works.
Oh.
Because that's just not your thing.
Nobody watches TV in my house.
No, I don't.
I
watch
mean,
TV.
they have. Well, Bryn
like,
would
watch
watch
on your
sports.
iPad or
Bryn did
something?
used to watch sports, but then like she went to college, so they'll play Wii,
Okay.
and they will they'll Netflix, and we can do that. But for some reason, we can't get TV like regular cable TV. Something needs to be fixed. Something happened to the box. Something needs to be fixed. But no TV works in my house.
Okay. All right.
Well,
T-Mobile.
I mean, after Mike
T-Mobile.
after Mike moved out, I don't think the TV in the basement guest room has been turned on since he moved out, and that's 7 years. That's been a long time.
So we switched off just for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I have had Comcast for over 20 years, and our bill just kept on going up and up and up and up. So we just not recently, it's been months, but we moved to T-Mobile's $50 plan, and we love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll
so you have a
talk.
hotspot for the house?
I don't think it's not even the.
It's wireless, though.
Yes. Yeah, we love it.
See, I don't know how all that works, and
It's okay. All right. All right.
That's a whole long conversation that I have so many things that need to be fixed.
So, hey,
Clearly, the oven needs to be fixed.
My
There's-
oven needs to be fixed, too.
There's a big well. If this guy seems like he knows what he's talking
I broke
about.
the
He's
stove
coming out
2 days
Monday.
ago.
So
okay.
oh no.
All right.
there's a big old beam falling down that's being held up
What?
over
What?
my porch.
Oh, I thought you
That-
were like in your whole
No,
your
over my
house.
porch, like it was part of the porch,
Oh,
like
that
the
doesn't
molding or
sound good.
whatever, and it's being held up, and it's going to fall at some point. So that needs to be taken down and then
So
put back
don't
up.
This is
don't walk.
Aaron, are we
don't
getting
come
honeydew
through the
lists here?
When this
Moves
shifts,
there. Are you going to fix that?
I
for
will
me?
help you.
Oh, thank you, please.
Absolutely.
That'd be great. I mean, there's a door I can't open.
Make a list, and I will help
Okay.
you.
Oh, you'll
Wow,
You'll be sorry.
It's what I do anyway.
I mean,
Aaron is very handy.
There's stuff.
I'll help
Aaron
you.
made this table.
I had like a handyman, and then he jammed my door so bad that I can't get it open. I was like, well, I'm not calling you again.
That's terrible.
He
for
came
him
out
to do.
twice to fix my door, and now I can't get out that door.
I'll fix your door. I have a door saw.
A
Okay,
door.
I don't
what?
even know what that is, but
A
fine.
door saw?
I was very proud of myself
What's
that what
that?
I did fix. So in each of our too many bathrooms in my house, but in the main floor, the two bathrooms, the toilet paper thingies were all loose.
Okay.
Oh, I hate
and
that.
I just went and I did fix those.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Because
you
you have
did it
there's the
yourself?
Little
little
Allen
thing
key.
underneath it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
Oh, the
Allen key.
Allen. Yeah, the
Set
Allen
screw.
wrench.
Yeah, I did fix those too.
Okay.
All right, that's pretty good.
That's about the extent of my
And
fixing.
GPT cannot do that. I can't
It
get
can,
like,
actually.
It can't.
Is it going to come to my house and
can
fix
fix
it?
But it'll give you instructions how to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
that still
I need you to
doesn't
act
do
as a
it.
But
professional
still.
plumber. Tell me I have problem this, da, 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 and you can even take pictures of it, and it will
Really?
give you describe. Yes, it'll give instructions.
Okay, so
on
I'm
it.
still not doing my own plumbing, but
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 we are there. My
And
point
then
is,
it
we
going
are
to
there.
come to your house to mop up the leak that you have caused because for some reason you didn't follow the instructions correctly?
but it would be helpful. So, but on that whole vein of where I'm not an expert, so it can fill in the gaps. So you could do that and diagnose the problem, and then when the plumber came out and said, you know, because normally, you know, they're like, oh, it's, you know, $1 bazillion, and you don't know if they're right or wrong. You're like, I guess.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, like maybe you could be like, oh, well, actually, did you check this gasket? Did you check this part? Because I believe that the leak is here. And maybe you could make it seem like you know, or like your mechanic, or when you talk to your mechanic when your car's out, you know, instead of like all those things.
Yeah, but
all
there's a
those things,
line
you know.
there. You don't want to cry.
Yeah.
You know so much. Why don't you fix it?
Yeah, but just to have a little bit of knowledge, you know, just
No.
enough.
Absolutely,
Enough.
absolutely. It's good to be informed about the
Exactly.
things that you're
Like,
doing.
yeah, you're not an expert, but you can ask the right questions to not be taken advantage of, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Riveting conversation
right,
this evening,
yes.
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm still not doing my own
But it's
plumbing.
real life.
That's right. This
That's
is real
right.
life, ladies and gentlemen.
This
You heard it
is where
right
the
here on
rubber
the set
meets
list
the
of
road.
life.
This is where the Cabbage Patch
I haven't
meets the
used ChatGPT for small engine repair, but I might have to start.
with your car, with Penny's car.
Well, oh yeah, don't talk about that.
Sorry, Phil.
No, we weren't going to go there,
MTV.
Kirsten.
I went there.
I've just had
I
to
didn't
do
mean to.
three
Just came out.
carburetor jobs this year on small engines.
Okay.
So
See, so you need a little, just a.
I use a lot of YouTube. That's
Yeah.
probably my generation.
I have YouTube stuff, not
I-
small engine repair, but
Yeah, I YouTube
stuff.
like household.
yeah,
fixing.
drywall repair.
Yeah, like
things
how
that.
how to clean the gunk off my oven or stuff like that.
You're replying. You're doing drywall work in your house?
Tiny bit.
Hey, wow.
Who's putting holes in your walls?
Well, so
Oh, wait. Okay.
there was. No, it's really not exciting.
Story
not
time.
exciting.
With Christine.
It's not exciting. There was a leak, and the plumber came, and he had to cut a hole.
Oh, that happened, and they don't fix it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
that happened to me too.
Yeah.
That's
That's
less-
all. Wasn't
that's-
exciting. Didn't
Yeah,
didn't
right.
wasn't
That's less
deserving of the
dramatic
room.
than
Yes. Christine was angry because Aaron wouldn't watch War Games.
And I went, that's tonight. That's tonight. Figure out which wall to take it out on.
yeah. That's different than my daughter having a party in the basement and in the old house when it was new, and he put his fist through the
Yes.
drywall.
I mean, we have had a few holes that children have created.
Okay.
There have been a couple.
All right.
We've had a lot of balls through windows in my house.
We have not had that.
Everyone gets one free ball through the window, and after that, they have to pay for
Well,
it.
you have a golfer
I was
and
going
a
to say
lacrosse
golf
player.
families. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Golf, lacrosse.
But it was
I mean,
baseball.
Those are not easy balls.
Yeah, no, they're all hard. balls that break windows. I would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Do you want to touch this or not? Do you want to touch these balls or not?
Okay.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
This has been the Set List of Life. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Good night.
good
night.
night.